Time to talk about current odds around the league for players to win the Calder Trophy. Chances are is presented by Betway. And here are your Betway odds to win the Rookie of the Year. Mo Seider, the chalk right now. Down the home stretch here, he's got the finish line in sights, minus 200. Lucas Raymond, his teammate, the next best odds at plus 450. Zegras, Bunting, Jeannot, and Jeremy Swayman finally getting some love here at plus 2,500. Let's start with the guy up in Toronto. You got a first-hand look at him last night. Michael Bunting, impress you?
26 years old, he did impress me. All kinds of scoring chances worked. Marner and Matthews, but he's the guy that gets in the corner, separates people from the puck. He allows them some room to operate on the ice, and he's willing to do a lot of that dirty work and get in front of the net. Everyone says, well, he's playing with Marners and Matthews. Yes, that does help, but he does a lot of work on his home. He is ferocious on the forecheck, competes in all three areas, the neutral zone, the offensive zone, the defensive zone. I had him as my Calder pick at the start of the year.
I got to give you credit.
Save the tape.
He's 26 years old, but he's coming off, and he's out there, and you got to give him credit. Even though he's playing along two superstars, he has had one whale of a year, but it's hard to overlook Mo Seider in Detroit, the defenseman, 6'4", 197 pounds, 45 points, playing over 23 minutes a night. Impressed with what he's done, but I watched Bunting in person. He deserves to be in the conversation.
Think of it in these terms. Bunting is really the heir apparent to Zach Hyman, who these guys lost. And Zach Hyman was that, glue guy, that do the unsung jobs.
Go get the puck, give it to those guys.
Pry it loose, filter it towards the net. And as fond as Matthews and Marner are of playing with Hyman back then, Hyman never contributed what Bunting has contributed this year. Hyman was, he'd be 35 to 40 points. And, of course, he played very effective minutes. And as, hard a time as Matthews and Marner had losing Hyman to the Edmonton Oilers last summer, I mean, Bunting has been a lights-out surprise. And I don't know if I buy he's playing with top-end, counterparts or assets. He really deserves a discount, or, there ought not to be. Yeah. He gets a handicap for that reason. I don't know if I buy that. If you're there and you're doing the job, I'm telling you,
got to play with Kane.
You don't get gifted those positions at the NHL level with, let's put it in context, playoff caliber teams or elite level teams, simply because the coach owes you a favor. You're doing the job, and he's done that job.
All right, your home turf, Nashville. Did you know how good this youngster was going to be this year for Nashville? I mean, he has single-handedly maybe changed the identity of the Predators this season?
I knew he was going to be good, but I didn't know he was going to be that good.
Well played.
He has been remarkable. And I'll tell you what, if you can attach a premium for the intangibles, like you say, it's that physical element. I mean, north of 100 minutes, he's been, I think, a league leader just in terms of fighting majors this year. And, he's actually leading this group in terms of goals scored, which to me deserves a premium because it's harder to do that at the end of the day. But there is no question. This Nashville Predators team really has solidified their identity, their brand, and it's in large part because number 84 is having the kind of year he is having. So I'll tell you what, I could make a strong argument for Tanner Jeannot as your Calder winner at the end of the year, but I think ultimately guys like Seider, Bunting perhaps crowd him out.
But you were saying
Jeannot's a freight train.
Yeah.
First rookie with 20 goals, 100-plus hits. He's second in the league in hits, and also 100-plus penalty minutes.
No rookie's ever done that before.
Yeah, no rookie's ever done that before. And this Nashville Predator team, where are they without Jeannot? And the fighting majors, Nashville leads the league fighting majors. Jeannot will fight everything in sight. But he's brought a lot of pep in that dressing room and won't back down from anyone. And when you can do that and score goals, you're looking at the unicorns of the NHL. You're talking about the Tom Wilsons of the league, players that just don't do that kind of stuff, that score goals and hits. It's a rarity today to have those kind of players on your team. And when you have a player like that on your team, they are so valuable and what they mean to your group. And Tanner Jeannot has been that to the Nashville. Nashville's not in the playoffs this year, in the playoff race, without Jeannot.
Yeah, that's probably true. Duchesne has made a huge impact. Johansson has made a huge impact. Saros has to have the kind of year he's had. All those elements need to come to bear for the Nashville Predators to be where they are.
Yossi
but Jeannot is an important part of it. And is anybody surprised by the physical element? He's from Oxbow, Saskatchewan.
Yes.
That's just the way you play the game in Oxbow, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, population, I don't know, 7?
15 or 17.
Okay. Perfect. Hey, we put a lot of stock into when we vote for the Harts or the Norris. Like, these guys have to be in the playoff picture to get that recognition. Why don't we treat the Calder the same? Because the two guys leading the race, as far as the odds go, play for Detroit. They are not making the playoffs this year. Yet it looks like Mo Seider is running away with this race right now.
It's the best rookie of the year. You're talking about most valuable player to your team. That has to be in the playoff consideration. If you're the most valuable player, then that has to go with being in the playoff
elevate your team.
Yeah, elevate your team. But as far as a rookie stepping into the league, you're talking about, in this case, a 21-year-old that's playing 23 minutes a night on a team that's not very good, and he's quarterback in the power plays, playing on the penalty kill. And he is a guy they can build around. He's a franchise-type defenseman. And Lucas Raymond, the same thing. Steve Yzerman's looking for cornerstones. But when you're talking about the Calder race, you're talking about young guys trying to make their mark in the NHL. And it doesn't really matter if you're on a playoff team or not. And sometimes it's more impressive when you do it on a team like Detroit that's near the bottom of the standings, and you're trying to put up offensive numbers and play a key role and try and turn that franchise around. Where is Detroit headed without these couple of guys? That's why you have to consider them being out of the playoff race and what they have meant to the turnaround of that team.
I think it's fair. Hockey is, at the end of the day, a team sport, and a team sport unlike any other. There are so many variables, so many moving parts that for somebody like Seider, for somebody like Lucas Raymond, for that matter, to have had the kind of years that they've had with a rather modest cast of characters in around them, you get where you are. Yes, in large part due to your own personal abilities, your own personal successes or achievements on the ice, better way to say it, but it has a lot to do with the cast of characters around it. So for somebody like Seider to do it in the context of the Detroit Red Wings, comparing it with Bunting in the context of the Toronto Maple Leafs, it is a bit apples and oranges.
A lot of great research departments out there, I will say.
None like ours.
Ours is the best.
None like ours.
Oxbow, Saskatchewan. Population 1328, that according to the 2016 census, and just recently, a delicious pancake breakfast this past Sunday.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. We're heading to Oxbow, boys.
And you can see your dog run away for 2 days out there.
Exactly right.
It is flat.
We've got the best. All right, it doesn't get any better than that. What are we going to talk about next? I don't know. If you were starting a team right now, who would you pick to start your squad? And no, we're not just choosing 97 in Edmonton.
Chances Are is presented by Betway, an official sports betting partner of the NHL.